Hello, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ria, and today I'm going to talk about getting my face poked. So I recently had the chance to go and get my face microneedled, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with the process, microneedling will typically use an instrument like a pen. It's got a bunch, if I'm not mistaken, a bunch of little needles in there, and you are deliberately causing injury to your face, but it's extremely controlled. Before I continue on with this video, just a bit of a warning. I do talk a little bit about blood in this. If you're a bit squeamish and don't really enjoy talking about blood or hearing about blood, no pictures fortunately, but if it's not your thing, then you'll probably want to skip out on this video. The reason why I opted for microneedling is because if you have been following this channel for a while now, it's no surprise, but I have really bad acne. I just unfortunately drew the worst ever genetics card. My father was Irish, British, French, predominantly Irish, so very pale skin, and started off as a ginger apparently, but then went gray pretty quickly and went bald pretty quickly. My mother is Filipina, or was Filipina, and she had extremely dilated pores. It was thicker, more resilient skin, and I think that's just because of the way Southeast Asian skin or Asian, Pacific Asian Islander skin tends to be, but did really well in the sun. She would never burn, more so tanned, but she had really bad, severe cystic acne, and she had it into her 40s. Obviously, the genetic lottery was not very kind to me, and I've suffered from acne ever since. I was probably 12 or 13. It got really bad. I actually wore foundation to school every day to try and cover it up, which in hindsight probably made it worse. I have very few photos of me from when I was younger because I just hated how I looked in photos. The scarring definitely took a toll. When I turned 14, I was at a playground with some cousins and I mistakenly ran into a bar. I broke my nose, and in the process of trying to hold my nose, there was sediment that was picked up in, I don't know if it was my hands or somebody else's hands, and they basically cut my nose. And so I do have some scarring that never properly healed. They're basically open pores. To me, there's something that I am self-conscious about, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, it's always no one's ever asked, right? But it's something that I have felt self-conscious about, and it's something I've wanted to fix for a long time. The way it works is you start off, in my case, I started off with waivers and signing my life away. The person who did my microneedling is somebody I trusted. So this is actually a person I've seen for IPL or soprano laser hair removal. I asked a lot of questions over the year and a half leading up to microneedling because I wasn't sure at first. I'm really good with needles typically. I have, I think, 8 tattoos now, so I'm typically good with needles when it's something like that, which is hilarious because at the hospital I'm not so great with needles. I don't like having blood drawn. For whatever reason in my head, the hospital needles are so long. So I asked a lot of questions in the lead up to it, and then there weren't any surprises when I signed the waiver because I already knew what some of the side effects could be. You know, there could be anything from like swelling to redness to peeling to blood. Blood is a thing that happens because you are deliberately injuring the skin. And so I signed off on that, which was fine. And then I went in, and the first thing she did was put numbing cream on my face. I actually didn't film this. I think I took one picture because I wanted this to be some downtime for me, but I had to sit there for 20 minutes. So I was just on my phone for 20 minutes hanging out, talking to my husband. Once the numbing cream was done, then she moved me into another room where they keep the pen. On my forehead was where we started, and actually my forehead was probably the most painful, and she actually started there first because she said that's typically where it is the most painful. It was 0.75 millimeters, I believe, for my head, and I think like sort of the jowls on my sides of my face was at 2 millimeters. There were some areas that were like 1 millimeter, I think, but I can't 100% remember. She moved around to this area. She said she typically doesn't do the nose, but because I had scarring, and we had talked about this previously, like her and I had talked about this previously, but because I had the scarring on my nose and I had such large pores, she said I was a great candidate for it. So we went ahead and we ran the pen along my nose. sides of my nose as well, and cheeks. And then this is where it got a little bit wild. I think this is where she changed the millimeters of the needles, but she started running the needles all along here. She did skip over anything where like there was a breakout, but as she started to run the needles around my jawline, like in the jowl area, apparently there was a lot of blood. She was actually like concerned. She was like, oh no, did I hit an artery? She's like, there's a lot of blood on your face. There's a lot. And I don't actually know what that means in terms of microneedling, other than yes, you've injured the skin, right? I could feel the moisture on my face, which led me to believe that that was blood, but she took really good care of me and like wiped everything up. So the whole process took, I think, about 10 to 12 minutes. And then she was like, do you want to go look at your face? And I'm like, sure. So went over to the mirror. My face looked like it was sunburned. It was wild. It was so crazy. I was very taken aback. Last time I really did look like that was in the Philippines. I did get sunburned in the first time I went to Boracay. I did drive myself to and from the appointment, so that was good. You don't really need a lot of downtime. It's just the feeling of your face. Like, I would say it's something between a sunburn and then a road rash. I do find that getting a tattoo feels better, but of course I didn't get a tattoo on my face, so it's a little bit different. In terms of like the the breadth of pain, I would say laser hair removal for me first, like IPL or soprano ice first, then a tattoo is probably a little bit more painful than that, and then this is a bit more painful. But the good news is the pain was all gone probably by the next day. So I had my microneedling appointment at 11:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and by Sunday morning when I woke up, it was 90% better. The next day, my skin was freaking out, and I was warned that I would probably break out because my skin is trying to heal and push everything out that's a foreign body, i.e. blackheads and whiteheads, because those are things that really shouldn't be in the pore. I did break a couple of rules, so I don't have any mineral makeup, and typically they do recommend that after your session, if you are going to wear makeup, that you do wear mineral makeup. It's just better for your skin. I'm currently wearing what I usually wear, so I've run through that before in other videos, but I am currently wearing just like a regular powder, a little bit of concealer. I'm wearing 2 concealers today, a Too Faced concealer and an e.l.f. concealer, the camo concealer, but I'm probably wearing about half as much as I would wear. So overall, I would say, even though it's been, today is Tuesday, so even though it's been 4 days, 4-ish days since the procedure, there are a couple of warnings I was also given. So you're not going to see results right away. It can take up to 6 months because your skin has to heal. Again, you deliberately injured your skin, you're gonna have to wait for it to heal. I have opted not to go in for 4 to 6 week treatments. I want to see what it looks like at 3 months, and if I have to go back in, odds are I probably will, but I probably won't go back till like winter or something like that. I just want to give my skin the full time it needs to heal. What I did do that most people typically don't, according to my esthetician, is that I gave myself a lot of downtime between the days that I wore makeup. So the last time I wore makeup was Friday, and then today is the first day I'm actually wearing any makeup. So Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday I did not wear any makeup. I would have gone a few more days, but I have to be at an event tonight. Being in the house for 4 days straight is a little bit jarring on your psyche, so I just wanted to dress up and feel a bit refreshed. My makeup looks fantastic, and also like you have to remember that there is lighting involved. I mean, right now I'm using my cell phone for lighting because I just didn't want to have my whole setup. You can see obviously like the scarring here on my nose still, and I think it's gonna take a while, but John, my husband, did notice that like my cheeks already immediately look better. I did start to peel last night, but it wasn't like snake skin peeling or anything. It was just skin slowing off. A little bit more visual than usual, so that's all fine and good. Would I do it again? I think it's too early to say, and I think that's the one big thing about microneedling is that a lot of people expect the results to happen like in 48 hours, but having learned what I learned and what I know about the procedure, so far I feel like I would do it again. I feel like there is some value to it, especially with the collagen, the alleged collagen producing properties. And I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, I'm not a doctor. I'm not I'm not a licensed esthetician. I am a freelance, self-taught makeup artist. So what I did was I did as much research as I could. I asked as many questions as I could, and I felt like it was safe enough to proceed with this process. I think I probably read 24 different pages on microneedling before I decided to say yes. In terms of cost, it was a bit pricey, but I had saved up for it for a while. I just basically saved over 6 paychecks. It was about $240 all in. So it came with any leftover serum that she used during the procedure, which was, the serum was infused basically as you were getting the microneedling process done. But it is a little bit pricier, but also I get regular facials to combat my breakouts, and this was probably only $40 or $50 more than the regular facials I get, because I typically need a lot of extractions, I typically need a lot of chemical peeling, and so I am trying my best to take care of my skin where, you know, I can't get everything 100% of the time, so I do invest in getting facials just to make sure that I'm not breaking out as much, and I've seen a huge difference from even 5 years ago when my skin was just awful. I still do get breakouts on the chin, and so my next step would be to go to somebody who's able to help me figure out my hormone levels, because that is obvious. Like 99% of the time, the breakouts around here are a hormonal issue. I don't really break out on my forehead. I don't really break out on my cheeks as much anymore. I'm already taking oral and topical medications for my acne, so I think it may be a hormonal imbalance that I need to go get checked out, and there is somebody that I have in mind that I would like to see for that. I'm just trying to save up money for it because it can get a little bit pricey and it's not covered by insurance. I'm going to do a couple of update videos. So this is the first update video, just talking about what happened, and then I think I would like to do one at the 2.5-3 month mark, so probably before the May long weekend. I will come back on here and talk about what my skin's looking like. But it's going to take a while, and I'm respecting the process, I'm trusting the process, and I'm also remembering that I got this scar when I was 14. I got a lot of these scars in my teens, and to be able to undo those scars, having, you know, sat on my face for another 15, 16, 17 years, you can't just have them disappear in 24 hours, right? So it's gonna take a lot of work, and if you're somebody with scars and you're proud of them, like, be proud of them. For me, it's just like the one little nagging insecurity that I just want to be gone, and it feels like my nose is about to split open and like a Demogorgon's gonna pop out. I don't know. I am so far pretty happy with how things are going with respects to this process, and hopefully it's on the up and up from here. If you like this video, or if you're interested in subscribing, feel free to do so. There's a subscribe button down there, and I have a vlog coming out for the next drop, so that'll be on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna do a little bit of a gaming chat, and we're gonna talk about some of the things I did, including this event that I'm going to tonight. I obviously haven't been as of shooting this, so it'll be interesting to see how that went. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!